Welcome to another live match. Now, I've brought you back, I think we've done a film possibly last year at Bitterwell Lake, and I've brought you back for an autumn silverfish, hopefully, masterclass, but we'll let you know about that when I get the results at the end of the day. Now, as you can see, all the leaves are starting to drop off, all the acorns are down. We've had a frost, so the water is going to be plump. We've had loads of rain as well, and that's the worst scenario, is when you get the cold nights. You know, the rain comes and the rain's freezing cold. I've not been here, unfortunately, been very busy doing other things. I've not been for at least, I reckon, 3 months, which is absolutely disgusting because the fishing is amazing here. It's fantastic silverfish fishing. Paul runs a tight ship here. The fishing's brilliant. And, but hopefully, obviously with Facebook, you can look at the results. Obviously the weights have dropped off the last couple of matches because of the weather, the temperature, etc. But I think it makes for a better match. No one's sort of running away with it. If you look at the fish that's being caught, there's an odd tench, so they're going to be a big bonus, like they were last time I come, really. And but skimmers and a few roach are going to be the main species of attack. Bait-wise today, nice and simple. I've got maggots, pinkies, a few casters, and obviously the main thing is ground bait. I don't know whether worms are going to work. Well, I know worms have been brilliant here in the summer. Obviously, I see people, talk to people, but I think that it'd be the end of the worms. I will possibly chop a couple up. I'll have a chat at a few people in the results, try and do a bit of sneaky research on what they've been catching on. But anyway, what a fantastic day to bring the cameras back to Bitterwell on an autumn silverfish special. See if I can feel anything. 23, 23, 23. I was close. I've drawn 24, which is one peg from where I drew when I come down with the moths last time. So I don't know what's been happening. 23 hasn't been this year. It's not been performing at all. Really weird. I know the road bank's been quite good, but it's going to be all right. I think the sun could be an absolute pain to watch, to see your float, but looks quite nice. I'm over there. I've got a nice bit of nice peg. Let's get over there and get the kit out. Where are you? 23. That's been brilliant there, hasn't it? Perfect conditions there, Gar. Just got to the peg, and first thing I look at on these sort of matches, look at the colour of the water, and surprisingly lost its colour. And that sort of gives me the, you know, what I'm looking for is what ground bait do I mix up. And I'm going to keep it on the green side. So I've brought some Pro Fatter's green, I've bought some Super Crush green and some F1 green. So straight away I'm looking for that. Next thing is obviously how far I'm going to have to fish out. This peg to my left, 23, the last couple of years have really dominated a lot of the matches, but it's not this season. It's weird. It's sort of, they moved about. Even though I haven't been coming, I look at the results. But yeah, it looks all right. I know the bottom here is hard. Like the last match we fished here, I've drawn on this bank, which the bottom is hard. There's not a lot of silt. The silt is on that side of the lake. So yeah, I have got a little cheeky method feeder rod as well. Because I thought if I draw away from the corners, I am fishing for silvers, but believe you me, you can catch, depending on how the pole goes. I don't really want to pick it up, but obviously I've got a little method as well. Because you can chuck out. I remember one of the matches here when it was a bit, conditions weren't great, you couldn't really see your float well. I chucked a little method out and caught a few big skimmers, and obviously you could catch an odd tench. But yeah, I'm quite happy. The wind's not too bad. I thought the wind was going to be a bit worse. It is blowing over here, but at the moment it's sort of missing me, so all looks pretty good. Just plumbing up now. It's a bit of a weird one, this look. Now if I come back to 11 meters, you can tell that is on, there's a lot of, it's not like rocks, it's like flat stone here. I think it's like a bit like a red slate. I remember it when I used to come here when I was a kid. But it is quite flat. And then I go out then to 13, and then I think I'm on like a sandy bottom. It's nicer. There's an odd stone, like a rock. Quite hard to find, to be fair. I got my little dolly on as well. And I think what I'm going to do, if I go out to there, then I'm definitely on a bit of silt out there. And with it being a bit colder, them fish might want to be sat on the silt. So I've got a 4B16 F1 maggot on. Because the wind, I think the wind's going to be straight in your chops today. So shortish lines are going to be definitely, so out there, short line with a 4B16, I'll probably set up one with a bit longer line. So what I mean by that is the lash between your elastic and your float. One bulk, because of the conditions. I think we all know at the minute it was windy conditions can be very, very awkward. And I'm just trying to find 2 areas where I can go between the 2. I'll probably have a pellet line out there and a maggot and ground bait line. And I've got 2 little areas there where I can go between the 2, probably quite a way apart. But I might put my ground bait in there, put my pellets over to the right. So I've got 2 options, and that's it at the moment. And then if I wanted to, I could probably come into the middle of those 2 lines as a bit of a, you know, a third option. If the conditions were really hard, or I found one of the lines was better than the other, I could then sort of double up. That's how my fishing brain works. So I could go in the middle, and if it's really hard, I could just pot in maggots there, because maggots are always really good at Bitterwell. So there you go, that's that one line. Got to break down twice. I've got a big edge behind me, which can be a bit awkward when you're fishing 13 plus meters on this venue. I've got a nice little bulk, 2 droppers, and then I'm going to set up a 4B14 F1 maggot with a slightly longer line and stretch bulk, because on here, I think from the last match we done when it was summertime, caught a lot of fish just as it settled. So I'm going to mark that with a bit of Tipex. Like that. I've got one of the new silverfish hooks, SXFS I think they're called, if I can remember, tied to 010 Aki power, 6-inch hook length. So that's that one rig done. And I'm going to set, like I said, same float, 4B14, both blacked out. Same sort of rig as I had set up when I'd done the live match at Acorn, really, even for carp. Let's get him on. Got 011 power line main line, so it's all nice and dead right for the job, really. Good float presentation with that 011. If it was warmer, bigger weights, I'd probably step up to 013, but 011 power line down to 010. Aki power is, for me, there's no better combination when you're fishing for silvers. Now, talking about the blue lube, you've got to use this on light elastics especially. Makes a huge difference. And I've always said to people, what you do is, I always spray it down that end, put your pole together. The most important part is now get some water in it. So I get the elastic, put it in the water like that, ready? Hold the section up and let it all run down so it goes in both sections. Look at that. That's about as smooth as my bottom. And let me tell you something. Isn't it, Moz?
I'm wondering how smooth your bottom is to me.
It's like the north face of the Eiger. But on a serious note, let's get off of that subject. You really need to do that with light elastics. And the slips, like the 5, 6s and 8 slips, you have to do it. It makes a big, big difference. Right, short lines. I've got a top kit in 2. It's a little bit stony, a few rocky. So I've gone a top kit in 2 and... Let me go get him. I've got a few dots on here. Top kit in 2 and then a top kit in 3. So I'm going to start on a top kit in 2, put a bit of bait in. I might even start on expanders. I've got some beautiful pro expanders done up there. Oh, I've got to do some micros. I forgot to do my micros, so I've got to soak some micros in a minute. And I might just start on pellet. But I'm just giving myself the option of moving around. I've got a 4B14 F1 maggot for the short line as well, because it's about that much shallower in the long line, so I can't use the same float. But I'm just giving myself the options of moving about, because I think it's going to be quite tricky. I think 30 pound would be a really, really good weight today. There's some good anglers on decent pegs as well, which are going to be hard to beat. So really, I'm going to set a little rig up for down here, because I think if you remember, I was on that side to reed bed last match, or the last live match that I've done. So I'm going to set a line up down here. Might catch some roach, might get a lucky tench, I don't know, might not even get a bite. And I'm going to set like a little 4B12 F1 maggot down there. All number 6 slip elastic. I'm fishing number 6 because it's nice. Put some of the old blue lube on it, make sure it all works really well. Not set up a 5, just don't think it's quite sort of, you know, I'm not fishing for 10 or 15 pound, I'm fishing for 25 to 30 pound, I think. So number 6 is good. I can always change if I'm catching little tiny fish, but if it's anything like last time I come, you are talking sort of sensible size fish along here. So that's that. I'm going to set up one more rig, like I said, which is going to be a 4B12 F1 maggot, do me ground bait. I've got to soak a few pellets up, and we're ready to go. And if your knee blows up in the meantime, I'm just going to nick a few pellets off in Thin Perfect 2 mils, aren't you? I forgot mine's up in the van. I got a bad knee and I can't be bothered to walk back there. Yes, that's the ones I wanted, see? I'll give you a bag after, alright? Just say I hurt my knee last week. Everybody else has heard about it, Lee, haven't they? About my knee. I hurt my knee last week. Hop along, Cassidy. Bait wise, really simple. I've got a pint and 3/4 of maggots, mostly whites. Whites are good. Whites always been pretty good on here, hopefully. And then let's move that out of the way. I've got some pinkies and I've got a few casters. Obviously got my 4mm Pro expanders. I think little balls of ground bait with a few pinkies in. Tapping a few maggots over the top would be quite good, and maybe loose feeding. But expanders could be quite good to start. I think I'm going to start on expanders. Normally put a few 2 mils in, and if there's a few fish about, they'll be straight on it. I'm really looking forward to it actually, because I've not been for ages. I've got quite a lot of silverfish matches come up, and you know, silverfish matches nowadays are very, very popular. Some good competitions, and if you can get into this sort of fishing, lighter elastics, you can learn a lot about fishing anyway. And I really enjoy it. This is my bread and butter when I was a kid. I used to love coming down to these sort of lakes, fishing for the roach, skimmers. You know, there's a few cruisins about in the day, and for these young uns, there's a couple of young uns fishing the day because we're on half term, and fair play to them. You know, you watch them plumbing up. They've obviously been watching our videos, Moz. This is the problem with it. They're learning too much too fast. I forgot my riddle, I forgot my pellets. I'm going to have to go and get a ground bait riddle. I've left mine in the van. One thing I haven't forgot today is a little method feeder. So I've got a little 10-foot Superior X rod, little inline ICS method, because you never know. You know, these fish see a lot of carp anglers fishing with methods, and I know from what I said earlier in the film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little 20 gram ICS method on, little free running ICS. I'm going to change that to a 16 SFL hook with a 013 bottom, because we are fishing for silvers, but that's going to be just in case. Right, well, we've done what we've done at Acorn. I'm a bit behind having a chat, and they just started, and I'm going to start now. So I'm literally going to put a tiny little ball, pretty negative, a little ball like that, and a bit of loose, and I'm going to put a couple of pinkies over the top on a top kit, and 2 just to start. Put the other sections on. Oh, I've got a double ship here. So on them 2 long lines, I'm going to put a slightly bigger ball, just a 1 squeezer like that, a bit of loose, and again, just a few pinkies. Not many, not much at all. Just use the ground bait to hopefully kick it off. Little bit of loose, little ball, you can see that going in. And then to the right hand line, the same. Just going to put some micros, a few micros, soap fins, not loads, and a few. I'm not going to put any expanders in. Not a lot of anything really. I want to feel me way into the match. So I got myself lined up with a telegraph pole. And let's see what happens. I'm going to start chucking a few casters down that inside and start fishing. Keep that ticking over as we're going along. I need my 40-14 shallower rig. I'm going to put a single red maggot on. Well, not a bite short. I've seen a couple of fish. We've only been going for like 5 minutes or so. But I have seen a couple of fish come out longer out on this bank, so I'm just going to go out at 13 metres. Just going to pop it on my ground bait line in a minute. So I'm going to go out on my ground bait line at 13. I think there'll be quite a lot of this today. Oh, there you go. That ain't good news. I think I've just hooked the carp. Unfortunately for me, first bite was I'm pretty sure that's a carp. Oh, Moz. The tench, the carp, has turned into a nice Bitterwell tench. Look at that. Nice bonus that. I honestly thought that was a carp. Yeah, but normally they go like that, like. I thought it was a carp, and then all of a sudden it was like I seen the boil. The tench give off a different boil to a carp, don't they? It's like a tighter boil. So I'm just bringing the pole. So it's about 2 foot out of the water. Give it a bit of a sprinkle, bit of noise. Spread your bait out a little bit. Let that go down. And then concentrate like hell. Oh, come off, skimmer. I've just lost a skimmer now. I don't think it's very big. But just tapping those maggots in. I had a quick look on my pellet line, nothing. Come back, put a maggot on, went straight back at her. It literally dropped in, had a bite immediately. It just pinged off. But just as it settled again. The only problem I got today is loose feeding out there is going to be a bit tricky with that side wind. Well, sort of in your face as well. It's right on the short line. Oh, there you go, Moz. Right, so there's my second fish. I've missed 2 indications. I bumped one. Nice size skimmer on single red maggot, just tapping in a few maggots. So I'm just trying to. It's very difficult when there's fishing this hard to know what to do yet. I'm just trying to feel myself into it. In fact, that fish is actually really cold. Get a disgorge behind me here in a minute. It's a nice sort of pound, just over a pound, I reckon that. I'm just putting in a mixture of whites and reds, probably like 20, something like that. I can see me at the moment where I put those micros to my right. It is early days, but in my mind I'll end up probably putting maggots in there as well. I've not fed another ball of ground bait yet. Flick your pole a bit so they all come out in a bit of a, and then flick that in like that. I might end up even punching, using some Preston bread punch and putting in tiny little sort of nuggets of ground bait. But we'll see how we get on in a minute. It's a bit early days yet to see. I'm just trying to make a bite. You can make a bite, but you've got to wait. It's going to be quite a technical day this, I reckon. There you go. Literally just sat there thinking, what if it's time to put another little ball of ground bait in and I'll get a bite? But what I'm going to do now, because that last 10 minutes I've had a roach, a couple of smaller fish. I'm going to put a little ball in. I'm doing a gamble, little sort of 6-ounce skimmer. I'm going to put a little ball in and a little bit of freebie on that right hand line where I put a few pellets, and I went over on expand and never had a bite, so I'm going to take a gamble and go. So I'm going to put a little ball like that, a bit loose. I'm going to do what I've done, just put a few pinkies in, even though I'm not fishing pinky on the hook. For what's happening on the lake at the minute, I'm doing all right. So I think what I've done has definitely been all right. So I'm going to put that on that line. I'm going to put a bit of loose on that top kitten free, which I spoke about this morning. So I keep that tipping over where I've been loosening a few maggots. And go straight back out on that line. So I think you can probably tell what's going in my mind is I've been concentrating on that line, caught a few, and then that last 10 minutes I've caught a little roach, a couple of little skimmers. I think, right, it might just be going off a bit. This is the time now to feed that other long line. So if I do need to put another ball of ground bait in on this line, I can rest it. Oh. That was a good one. I'll take that. I didn't think it was that big. He's hooked in the wing. Sorry about that. But that's what it is at the end of the day. Hooked in the wing. Can't believe that didn't come off. It's literally nice fish though. So that was on that right hand line. I've fouled up. At least it was, I think it was the right time to actually put a bit of bait in there. So I've got an 18 hook on, small hook, real quite negative, but it is a bit like that when you're fishing for silvers, especially on a venue like Bitterwell, because they're not easy to catch on the day. So I'm just going to do the same, few maggots. I mean, that line at the moment where I would have a job to see the float there. When you've got that ripple on the water, it is a problem this time of year. And it could cost me some fish today, that. Them little square butts I've got on here as well is an absolute, they're so nice to fish with. The nice thing about now, I've topped up that original long line, so if I go back out on that in a minute and I get a quick response from feeding ground bait, it gives me a little bit more information to think, right, you know, I can top up with ground bait. You've got to be very careful when the fishing's like this hard. You've got to try and learn from something you possibly do on another line. As I said, it's quite technical, and I think it will be quite a technical day. I think these are the bits you've got to try and learn as well. When the fishing's quite difficult, is when you've got ground bait lines going, maybe not feed one at the start, because if it's so apparent that they don't want it some days, I know you can plumb up and start another line, but leaving that line, I know I put a few micros in it at the start, nowhere near as big as the one I fouled up, to be fair. Still nice little weight builders. So every bite you get is going, like most of it's a nice, like that. Look at that. Just as it settled, that was. Well, them hooks are absolutely brilliant. They go in, they don't come out. Look at them. It feels like you could probably get like 3 or 4 fish off of a line. Yes. I have missed this big style, let me tell you. Feels like another big skimmer, that. Yes. £5 in 2 fish, that, really. It's probably getting on for £2.5. Welcome back to Bitterwell, Desi. No problem, mate. 3/4 fill that pot. Oh my God. We've been going for roughly 2 hours, and I must admit, the fishing has been brilliant for me. Feeding them little balls of ground bait, watching for every single indication, and I've upped the maggots now. Like trying to make that bit of noise with the cad pot, I think is mega. Looks like you're loose feeding. I've had a couple of good skimmers. I reckon I got £12. Possibly a tad more. So I've got another one on now. But all the short lines I'm still just priming. I'm not bothered about them. I'm concentrating on them 2 long lines. My left-hand line, my original line's the best line. Because I've spent more time on it, to be honest. I'm trying to look after the other line. So now and again, I go out, sort of tap 10 maggots in, and then go back to my left line. You know, whilst I'm catching them, I'm trying to stay with them. Because they are good fish. Look at that, do you know what I mean? It's good fish, that's getting on for £2 that. £1.75. Book me in for next Tuesday. Filling that cod pot up now. This time I'll just put a few in on that right hand line. Not too many, probably half of that pot. So yeah, it's all going well. Best rig by far is that 4x14 strung out rig. So let's go around to the right hand line, tap a few of them out, and then tap them out on that line, a long way off the water though. And then let that go down. Quite a few of those fish have been just as it settles. If it just dies and you're like, oh, feed a little ball of ground bait, literally a ball like that, size of a walnut, sort of half a handful of loose, and then go on that other line. Just didn't feel that time. I probably didn't put enough maggots in then. Sometimes you get like 2-3 bites pretty quick, and then other times you've got to wait. And that's why I don't really want to move about too much. The only time I want to move is probably when I top it up with ground bait. I'm going to come back and put a few more maggots in. Just feel like there wasn't enough in there then. I've got to make that little bit of noise. Let's just 3/4 fill that. This is where you've got to be a bit active as well, not just keep sitting there and sitting there. Because it is winter, but it's quite mild. Now, if Moz watches this, you'll see exactly what sort of happens when you tap the maggots out, sort of 3-4 foot off the water, like that. Spread them out a little bit. And them fish are so tuned into noise sometimes. You know, look at that, look. You know, it's what it is at the end of the day. It's what we do these films for. It's what I've learned from, you know, all sorts of fishing really. Little skimmer, but you know your bait's being at. So finely hooks. Them hooks are absolutely brilliant, they are. Sort of half filling this time. Anyone can do this. It's only, you know, it's only 13 metres. So spread them out a bit. Drop that in. I'll just let it go a little bit slack. Let it go down, and then just control it. You just don't want it going down too tight. Probably getting to the time where it might need another little ball. Let's just lift that out again. And be active. Loose feed that little short line, because you never know. Just feels like now it's probably getting ready. This is what I'm looking. You know, these are the information I'm trying to find. Is when do I put another ball of ground bait in, and then try and nick. It's hard because you're neglecting that other line, but you're hoping you can just go on that for 5-10 minutes to nick a fish or two whilst you're waiting for this to come back. It's hard to keep. I mean, I could pick a catapult up, and you know, there's no harm in loose feeding that other line whilst you're on this line. Just feels like it probably needs a little ball now, possibly to kick it off again. Oh, that might be a hybrid. No, it is hybrid, that. Look at him. Proper Irish hybrid. The way that, no, I'll tell you what, the way that's kiting like that, that's a big green baron. Oh no, Moz, it's a stencher. That'll do, I like that. Oh, I thought it'd come off then. Come on, it's a good one as well, that, isn't it? Yes! That's what we want. You, gravel pit tench, that. Well, that little skimmer, I actually put my 14.5 metre piece on because I can't flick it out because of the wind's got up. So I've put my 14.5 metre on. I've not gone right to the end of the 14.5. I'm trying to fish it about where I would be flicking it past with the dolly, but at least I can do it, and I've just caught that. But I had like 2 indications. You think, oh, was that a tiny, it might have been a tiny roach, who knows? But the bite I actually hooked was a nice sort of 8-9 ounce skimmer. This is where you've got to be a little bit open-minded. I can't explain to you why it works and what the fish are doing. All I know is it does work. And that's what you've got to be very aware of. No, I've got my 14.5 look. Just flick that out like that. I'm not flicking it out, I'm flicking it to the side because the wind just won't let me do it. You don't really know what's happening because the fish could be over your main, you know, where you're feeding your bait, but you might not just be able to catch them. Where if you go past where there's nothing there, you probably got more chance of them finding your bait. But there's not a lot of bait there anyway when you think about it. I've not fed loads of bait. But it works whatever you do, really. Well, I've just gone over to my right hand line, caught a little fish straight away. I had that tench and that decent skimmer pass. That's a little skimmer. Oh, they're the nasty ones they are. They're a pain in the neck to catch, they are. That, Moz, is good presentation to catch one like that. But I've just gone on that right hand line, had an indication, probably a couple of those there, but I've gone past out there, and it's like there's a few fish hanging off your bait and then they're gone. So I've left it and just see if I can sneak a few out on this line. But I will in a minute, or hope, well, see how it goes. I'm obviously loose feeding those casters down there from the very start. And you never know, it might be an odd big perch, it could be a skimmer down there. I want to give it a go, really. But it's like you get a couple of bites and then they're gone. I've not really put anything else on the hook apart from a red maggot, to be fair. Yeah, this is a time where I think you've got to go like, I've got to put another little ball in, do you know what I mean? Because it just goes off. I'm just going to have a quick go short a minute, just to sort of satisfy my mind, if anything. I don't think I'm going to catch there, but if there's anything going to be there, I think you'll get a bite pretty quick. Looks absolutely beautiful, that. Oh, there we go. Nice little roach. Nice roach, probably 7-8 ounces. All helps the cause. Definitely a few roach in that there, I reckon. That's all you're going to get, isn't it? 1 or 2 bites and definitely not there in numbers. We've got an hour left now, and it is rock hard at the moment. I've had to change things around. I've put some pinkies in. I've actually caught a skimmer over that. I've just missed a bite on double pinky. So I've gone to one line, the line to my left, which has been my best line. I've changed that because I had no choice, really. The wind is an absolute belter, to be honest. It's really tough. But I've sort of committed myself now to this on pinkies. Left that right hand line still the same with maggots. And I have had a pound skimmer on it where I put these pinkies in, so. But whatever I do, there's not like a run of fish. It's tough for everybody, it's not just me, obviously. I think possibly, don't know really, they've just not really had a proper go. But it's still good fishing because the fish are good size, you know, so you don't need that many bites. But it just feels like you're going to get a bite. It's just you've got to wait, you've got to be patient. I think I had an indication like literally for just a minute ago, but it's hard to tell because of the wind. But I went down, obviously had a couple of fish on maggot over castle down to my left, but the short line's really on this bit as well because the stony area of the lake. Just don't think they want to be on that today. You might get an odd bite on it, but you'll have to wait a long time out on that 13-metre line. It feels like that's the area you're going to do the damage from. You just don't know. Your next bite could be, you know, could be another tench, could be a big skimmer. But I just don't think there's a lot you can do to actually make a bite apart from flick it around, flick it past. So yeah, tough going at the moment, and I got a feeling it ain't going to get much better. I think when you get that feeling like an hour to go, you think, oh yeah, this is going to kick off. But I got a feeling that it's just going to be tough until the end now. But it's been brilliant fishing, really. It's just that it's sort of slowed right down. There you go. See, that was an indication then. Crafty as you like. And it's amazing, you've got to wait another like certain amount of time before you get another one. Flipping annoying. Definitely an indication that. Could have been a little skimmer, maybe, you don't know. But we'll just keep at it, just try and keep going around them two main lines are going to be my main lines that they have been all day really. Oh, there we go. See, it's just out of the blue. Just shows there's a couple there, doesn't it? It's hard to know what to do really, not going to lie. It's like, what do you do now? Do you go on to your other line? But we just concentrate on, see, they're good fish. It's a nice skimmer. Hard to come by, but brilliant fishing. £1.25. It's hard to catch. Look at that. That hook is literally in the tiniest amount of skin then. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to go out on double pinky again. I've caught two fish over pinky now. I think it's surprising how many bites you miss. I think they suck that bait in, even though you've got your float dotted right down. They sort of suck it in, spit it out so quick. Don't know, it might be a carp. I've latched into some here, which I'm a bit concerned. It might be a big tench. I'm not sure. I've hooked that on me. Oh, I don't know actually. That's gone out into the middle. I think that might be my first carp. That I don't know. They do go these tench in here. Oh, that O10's on critical. Yeah, that's a carp in it. I just hooked it and it just nodded a bit like a tench when I hooked it. That number 6 is being. It's not me number 6 I'm worried about. It's me O10 hook length really. Just nodded. It's just knocking a bit for a carp. Oh, I don't know. It's got that tenchy. It's got that tenchy, Dylan. Feels like a stench. Ah, no, first carp, I reckon that. Great big boil. Oh yeah, carpy darpy. Moz, it's a stench. Can't believe that. Yeah, that went, didn't it? That is a major bonus. I'm not going to lie. Now I don't want to fight it at all now. Not O10. That's mad, isn't it? How that went off. That's literally out in the middle of the lake. That. Christ, don't they have scrap? Get up, get up, get up. Yes, sirree. There, I told you. Get him. You can't beat a barren greenback. Oh, look at that, that's a beauty, isn't it? Fair play to them new hooks, absolutely mint. We'll be tying plenty more of them up this winter. I think when you get one of them though, I think trying to get, I was just going to say, trying to get another bite, I caught had a bite immediately. Not a big fish that, but little skimmer I think. Yeah. ridiculous, the bite. I'm not sure how much time we got to go. Not that long now. 20 minutes to go. Been informed by the cameraman, Moz. You know you're going to get a bite. It's just the time it takes you to get one. It's like frustratingly good. So I had that nice tench and a small skimmer on that right hand line. I've put another ball. I never had a bite then for a while, and I thought, right, because I've fed this line again with pinkies, I'm going to go in on that. And what I'm going to do now, I'll probably give this another, see if I can catch one more. And if I don't run out of time. The wind's dropped now, it's typical, isn't it? Now it's time to go in. But that's just inching through with the toe, and you just see it like literally stop. So I fed that line I'm fishing now with 2 balls like that and 50 pinkies each time. And I've gone out there. It's been frustrating because you miss an odd indication, and it's like, come on. You know, you don't know. It could be a roach. It could be a pound skimmer. Very frustrating. And that's winter silverfish fishing sometimes. You drop it in, you get an indication, and sometimes you don't get another bite for ages. It's like you've spooked it off what was there. I've not done nothing. I've not messed about with my rig. I've literally just been same rig all day. And I'm not going to go on my right hand line then. Let's go out there without feeding first. There you go. Tiny, tiny little bite on that right hand line then. Little 10 ouncer. Felt a bit bigger than that. Lovely condition. Crafty as you like them things. Now, I've got like 5 minutes to go. Now, it's always a gamble. What do I do? Do I stay on that line? I think I've got to be honest. I think I'll probably have a bit of a... I might get another one. Try and catch one more before the end. I'm just going to put just a few maggots in. Just see if I can scrape one more out before the end. You never know. Nice big 3 pound tench. Oh, oh, it went straight under. Oh, there's definitely a carp that. I don't think it's in the mouth because that literally went straight down. I'm pretty sure I've hooked my first carp. Either that or a foul up tench. Fish on! I got a feeling that is a foul up. Oh, I don't know. Oh no, I think it's a carp. I don't think it is foul up. Nah, definitely not foul up. Carp. No, it's a bream. Moz! That's the biggest breams of today. I can't believe that. He's hooked under the chin, look. That must have just landed right by him. That was a good finish, that. I like that. I wish that happened every time I fished a match. But what a fish to finish off. The biggest skimmer I've caught today. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. And what a day I've had. It's been, honestly, it's been tough. That fish is actually really, really cold. Let's get him back in. Now let's talk a bit about the day before we weigh in. We've not coming here for quite some time. I've not put a lot of bait in because I think with the conditions, with the rain that we've had, I think putting like possibly 3 or 4 big balls of ground bait in, I don't know whether that would have been any good, so I didn't do it. But putting those little balls in at the start, obviously I tried a pellet line, it was a waste of time. Short was a waste of time. It's been an out and out long pole day, basically feeding little balls of ground bait. Maggots were really good at the start. Then the left hand line went completely, so I started putting pinkies in there. I've caught a few fish on that, including that one. And then that right hand line, even though it was pretty poor at the start, it's actually got a little bit better. It was a line I felt pinging a few maggots in the second half of the match when the wind sort of allowed. It got me a few bites. It got me a tench, a big tench as well, and it caught me some skimmers and a few bits and pieces. And then going between the two, I hope the film comes over well. Of what actually is quite technical when you got to do that, because like I said earlier in the film, you can only look after one line properly, which is the line that you're fishing. But I think 2 or 3 fish off of each line in that last half of the match has been the key. You can feed a little ball like that, whether it was maggots or pinkies, and go on the other line. You can't drop in on that, even if you don't get a bite on that other line, you still got to leave it like 10 or 15 minutes. You don't want to be going on that other line, whoop, a bit too early. But there you go, we'll weigh in now. I've had a fantastic day. The wind's been an absolute bitch, I'm not going to lie. But I've had a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll get back to you with the result very shortly. Right, ready?
Let's call it 35.8.
We'll call it 35.8. What a brilliant day's winter silverfish fishing that is. So yeah, I've won the match. I think the 20 odd pound second has been great. It's been hard, frustratingly hard, but look at the quality. 3 big tench, big skimmers, don't get better. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the Preston YouTube channel. And yeah, see you on the next live match very, very soon.